Hey guys, good afternoon. Welcome back to this this series. In this edition, we will talk about using Cypress-Axe login. So, what is this? This is a scenario where when you're running the test, you need to be able to get on your console, you want to be able to get the table of the report of the issue on the accessibility, probably so that you can just probably take a screenshot of that or dump that somewhere and then feed that onto the developer so that they can just go and do their thing, or probably just export that into something else. This Cypress-Axe actually gave you option for you to be able to have a report to have option to be able to do a tabular form or a login concept where you can have your things actually logging out on the keyboard on your CLI console here as an example. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna quit this test so we can start from the beginning. This is still the same framework. So what we're gonna do, let's do it's a login as well. This is kind of same concept with here. But what I'm gonna do is to set up a new one. So I'm gonna go here and create a new file. So here I'll just say let's say console log. So let's say console.log or let's say console log implementation. So .cy.ts here. So what we're going to do is to probably just copy this one as we normally do, just paste it here and just go and edit this a little bit. So let's say, so it can be different really. So this is login implementation on the CLI, really simple as that. So I'm just gonna delete this one. So what do we need to do? This one, they have given us a concept. We can do that. How do we do that? Obviously we just need to create a function that will then do that. So how do we do that? We'll just do function here, function, call it whatever you like. So here I'll just say terminal log. So I'll say terminal log sorry, log, and here it takes the kind of violation. In this violation here, I'll just call this one as any because I'm on a TypeScript. This is TypeScript implementation. So what do we need to do? We just need to create task really. So the first thing is Cypress task. So I'm just going to invoke a task that I don't have yet. So what is this task? I'll call it log. You can call it whatever you like, but for me I'll just call this log. Well, within this log, the next thing I want to have is I want to be able to have something like, let's make it this way. Here let's make it this way, and then here within this table I want to have a few things, because when you create a task it gives you an option to name that task, and then the next thing it takes is just the the parameter, and it takes one. So but here I want to have up to 3 parameters really. So the first thing I want to have is I want to have this violation. Sorry, I just drew that. I want to have violation, this violation that I've taken from this. I want to find the length, and I want to, after finding the length, I would say, let's say it's 2. I would say, let's say 2 accessibility. Oh, I can't spell accessibility. Accessibility issues or violations. Yeah, that's the first one. The second thing that I want to try is I want to try to have let's have something like, let's say the length of the violation, and here I want to probably just make make a a decision to say I'm just going to use ternary operation. So here I'll say the violation, actually I think at this point in time now it might be worth to bring this down so we can see this within the terminal. Right, so this is violation.length here. I want to find the length, so I'll say length violation.length. So I'll say if it's equals 3 equals 1 here, I want to be able to print nothing here. But if otherwise, please, I want to print an S. So just let's write the script. This is exactly how it is on their page really, but for me I am trying to give you more color here. And then the last thing I want to talk about is let's talk about you know, when we say it is, was, and where. So let's finish this writing code, but it's also there on their web page anyway. So here I'll just do the same violations again, and I'll say if I look for the length gth, so if I find the length, if it's equals 3, if it's 1, then if it is, then what I want to do is I want to be able to come out and say I want to say it is was. So I'll say was, otherwise it is where. So this is just table that I'm making up. This is where, and I will say where detected here. So I will say over this bar, and I will say issue detected here. Right, so that's basically what I want to script for this console, this Cypress task called log. That's the main one. But again, let's now analyze what each of these mean, because I've been writing this code, but I haven't actually been clear what they mean. So let's try to like make sense of this. So in this place, what we want to do is to actually, as they say on their page, is to plug specific keys to keep the table going. All right, so how do we do to keep the table actually readable? You can say readable. So how do we do that? So the first thing we want to do is to let's actually create that violation data that will be fed into it. So I'll say violation data. What is this data going to do? So this data would be of type any, and in this it will be that same that violation we got up there, violations dot map, because when you run it, it gives you like a group of things, but we want to like loop through it essentially is what you can say. So what we're doing here is to loop through. So let's go in here, let's make it this way so it can be easy for us to read. Let me just take out this and then bring this out, and then in this one I'll make it this way, right? And then here I want to go that way, right? So within here, what we want to do is to create an object and then take those specific things we want. At the minute, what we want is we want an ID, we want impact. These are the things we want to see on the table. We want to see what else, description, and the last thing we want to see is the nodes here. So on this, we want to actually, obviously we are on TypeScript, so what we would do is to create the types of these things. So the first one is the ID here. Well, it could be a string, but for now, just for the convenience, I'll just, I'll call it as any. Then the next one is impact any as well. Please don't blame me for using any in everything. It's just to keep things very simple, really. In this description here, and here is any, and then again comma, and then the last one here is nodes, and then obviously I'll just call it as any. So this way we have now taken care of the types in the TypeScript, isn't it? So this type gives us this whole thing here. Okay, so what are we going to do? So now we're taking the things we print out are these. So we're going to print out impact, we're going to print out ID, description, but for the nodes, and you know the way the thing goes, if it is ID, you can say ID equals ID here. You can do that. Impact equals impact, but I'm just keeping it simple because this, when in the new TypeScript and EX6 thing, if they are the same, you can just ignore one of them, really. Take it out like that and just don't worry about it. But for this one, it's not going to be the same. So in this one, what I want for the nodes will be node.length. It's the length that I really want. So I'll say length here, and that's what I want here in the node. So here I'm just going to put back the comma and a comma, and the thing should be fine. So this should really do the job. This is what will help us to map the table. These ones will map the header. So now how do we then do the table? Really quite easy. So the last thing, which is the last thing here, the task here is going to be called as table and comma, and then the last thing is this use this violation data. So let's plug it in. That's it. This is just what we want. So we've written this. This is the bulky part of the code that we've been, aiming to do. Let's bring this here and see if it is readable from here. If it's readable for you, then that makes it easier for all of us, isn't it? So let's do it this way. At least so you can slide it through like this. Here is the code. So written this code can be moved to anywhere on this TypeScript if you want to structure things anyway. But then the last thing you shouldn't really forget to do is to register this task. Here we got two tasks. We got log task and we have Cypress-Axe and we have table task. Let's go and register that. The easiest way to register a task in Cypress is just to come in here. Obviously, this place says implement node event listener. So implement your things that you want to register. Any task you want to implement, you have to always register that with on event. So let's say on here and here, and then the first one we want to register is going to be called is the task thing. So this task, what is it? Well, in this one we want to be able to say the name of the task. The name here is log, and what are we going to log here? We're going to log message. So let's say message. Obviously that message is going to be of type string, isn't it? So you can leave it this way, but this message will be a message of type string, and then this message that we're going to log is going to be console.log. And this is where, if you now want, you can now log this anywhere else, but at this point in time I am going to be logging it on this console where I run the test. But you can then take it further and just log it like anywhere else really of your choice. Whenever you finish registering an event, it's always imperative for you to sort of return. So you can just return. If you don't have anything to return, just return now. So that's this one registered. The next thing we need to register is to register the task for table. So let's go here. Let's put a comma and register something else. In this one, so what we want to register here is a table, and this table also will take a message, and this message again you can log it again. Otherwise you can just pipe this through to, if it is like in an environment where you guys have a CI, you can just do here. I'll just do table. It will just create it as a table. But these are just the two things you need to register and you should be up and running. So now that you've done this, now in all your tests now, the easiest thing now you now need to do is just to like invoke this now within the test. How do you want to do that? So come to the test here, whatever test it is you've got. So in this case I might want to like probably just get this test. It doesn't matter, but if I get this test here, so to register this event, you got, so the option we want to go for is to pass for the context. We pass undefined because we're not interested in that. Then the option is also undefined, but then the last one here, which is this violation check here, has capacity for you to pass in a log. So we'll just take this out and then say this is terminal log here. There you go. So now that you've done this, if you run this test, it would give you what you want to see. So let's save this up. Obviously go through this code again and see if we're missing anything when we've been coding without like reviewing things. But yeah, I think this should do. So let's run this test and see if there's any things on the log. So let's go here. Let's go to let's go with electron, and then let's go to, what did we call the test? I think we call the test console log. Let's go here and just see. Website takes time to load, but it should be. So this is test run now. Let's go to the back of the thing and see if, hey, hooray. So this is it. This is now logged out. As we said, I'm just logging these things on the console. So you should be able to like probably just take screenshot and say to the developer, hey, you got color contrast issue. The first one is serious. These are like headers really. Ensure contrast between blah blah. It gives you details of what actually happened. And these are 17 issues here. Second one is heading order. It's not and you're talking about the severity, so the impact of severity. These are the things that we labeled, isn't it? The first one is ID, second one is node, third one for the headers here if you remember. So here we did say these are just like we're looking for the length. This is the first length here is just you know, like the number, and then all of that. These are the headers, and then when we come here, it just fills in this. It just loops through as it's mapping it, and it just fills it in. So here it is. Thank you.